Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to another episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Today we're going to do a full restoration episode from something we find at this junkyard. So I'm going to walk around, find a total piece of junk, and then we're going to see if we can restore it and fix the parts and get it back to absolutely 100% top form. So I'm going to wander around. I'll see you when I find a car I think we can mess around with. All right, I found it. This is actually pretty cool. I mean, the engine's a mess back here. It's all rusted out and everything like that. This looks in pretty bad shape. Lots of pieces missing, of course. But it is a Porsche 911 RS America from 1993. Now, we're going to have to overpay for it by about $2,000, but that's fine. I think we're still going to make our money back and then some when we're all done with it. So let's buy this one here, get it back, and we will see us back at the garage here. All right, walking around this one. This needs a lot of work. I mean, if you look at the engine again, it's pretty messed up here. Some body parts missing. We get wheels and stuff like that. A lot of the interior work. We're missing a door over here. Lots of things to do. Let's get started first by going over it, moving it over to the car wash, and that'll make it all pretty and stuff. So we'll get started here with our wash. This is always one of the more dramatic improvements, and this in the body work too. We'll detail the inside too. Oh, it's red. Who knew? Let's get detailing it here. This will help. Clearing out that inside now. And I think while we're here, let's come on inside. We want to get everything to 100%. So we're going to rip out this seat. Frontless seat was at 13%. The steering wheel was at 18%. We can't repair those anyway, so we'll get rid of those. And let's leave this mode. Now let's send it over for welding. So get it over into our first car lift. Let's break out the welder. This will make it the frame look a lot better for sure. So use the equipment over here on the Porsche 911. Gonna get that. Yep, $2,250. That's an expensive welding process, but this is gonna make it a lot better. Nice, looking pretty good. Okay, let's start ripping off some of these body parts. The hood's at 17%. If we get lucky, we could fix that. Front right fender, 37%. Okay, let's get the bumper off here. Taking 19%. All of these might be fixable if I don't screw it up. Door and mirror are repairable here. How about the trunk? 20%. Nice. Fender is gone. We don't have a fender. We'll have to see if we have one lying around here. While we're at it, let's get rid of all these body windows too, because I have to replace those. We'll get the windows out and stuff. Get the glass out, because this is all stuff that's less than 100%. So, all right, we got a lot of the junk off and stuff like that. But let's go repair some of the, over here. Let's go restore some of the body parts here now. See if we can do this. So these are, oh, this is a tricky hit. Can we get this one? Yes, success, repaired. Success, repaired. We'll keep going here. Well, it's going to be a tricky one. Nice, nailed it. Window, no problem. The mirror, good. We'll keep going here. Oh, we're on a roll. Got the trunk. All right, body parts repaired. Let's get them back on here. It's going to look a lot better already. Although the bulk of the work, to be honest here, is coming up. Getting all the underside stuff. The red one's the one we want. That's from this car, right? I had one lying around apparently. Nice, looking pretty good. How about the front bumper? 100%. Oop, not blue. No. Back up. Wacky sacky, come backy. We had an extra bumper. I've been collecting Porsche parts just because I found them. I figured that something like this is going to be helpful. There we go. Red one. On we go. Much better. Do I have a front left fender here that we can put on? I do. It's green, but we'll chuck it on there. Nice. Every time I've been at the junkyard, I've been kind of picking up these parts. Yep, there's our red one for the door. We'll put the glass in later, the mirrors and stuff like that. Rear bumper, we got that up. I don't have a rear bumper, so I'll have to buy that one. Trunk, red. I had 3 trunks. I've been collecting Porsche parts here. Hey, this is actually looking pretty good pretty quickly here. Do I have a front right door? I do. Let's just chuck on. Yeah, this is fine. The white one here. We'll paint it later. So, and do I have a front right fender? Yeah, I think we just took that one off, right? We repaired it. All right. Nice. That's pretty quick already. Now the hard part. Oops, we gotta get the mirrors on here. The hard part, however, is going to be, let's get these left side mirrors on. That's the original one. Yep. Put that on. Good. Okay, mirrors back on. It's looking pretty good pretty quick here now, isn't it? Right side mirror, we have one. No parts. So we have to buy a right side mirror, and we have to buy a bumper at some point. Let's get this up now, though, and start disassembling. I'm going to go out of that right here. Let's get this up on the racks, and we're going to move the welder out of the way here. We don't need that anymore. Let's break down this front suspension first here. So we're just going to start taking stuff apart here. Could probably fix the brakes. Lots of pieces in here. What's going on here? There we go. Let's get in here. This little wheel bearing's got to come out. Those you can't repair either. All right, so I'm going to keep on going here. We're going to kind of break down this front. Look at this suspension is a mess. Oh, I mean, all rusty and stuff like this. This is where the hard work comes in here. Front knuckle covers off. Let's get these suspension arms off. Now, a lot of this stuff looks like it can be repaired, so it's going to be pretty good, I think, for this one. Most of this stuff coming off, 17%. Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll take that. Let's get this bottom suspension arm off. Take the bolts out of it. So we'll keep going here, and we'll see what it looks like once we get this all cleared out. All right, so the suspension is all out here. Got that cleared out. Let's go over now and see if we can clean up some of these, fix some of these parts. A lot of them probably going to be challenging, but hopefully we'll be on a roll here. Nice, success. We'll keep going at this. This is a tricky one. Oh, fail. Bugger. We'll have to buy a new one there. It's a tough one too. Nope, got it. All right, so we'll keep working on these, and then we'll see you as we start to put this back together here. All right, so we repaired all the parts. Now let's come back in here and see if we can put this back together. I think we're going to have to replace this front suspension. Yeah, this isn't very good. So let's get this queued up here on the shopping list and start buying stuff here. And let's go in here, car parts, car shopping list. Whoop, we got to clear this out too. Front suspension, buy this part, 400 credits with our discount, but that's to be expected. This is an expensive part. All right, so now let's get bushings in here. We're just going to kind of keep rebuilding this. And we'll keep going along here. The bushings in the side of this here. I had a bunch of these stored up. A good amount of the parts we're actually able to repair. Probably, I'd say about 2/3 of the ones we took off, maybe even 3/4 of the ones that are repairable, we could actually repair here. So that was pretty good. We'll keep driving along here and get this front suspension built again. All right, so we can use our brake lathe here to repair the brakes. So we'll get these going. I'll come back for that in a little bit because they take a while. Probably going to have to get some shock absorbers in here too. But yeah, we're making progress here. We'll keep going. All right, so we don't have any shock absorber parts here. So we're going to come over here and put the shock absorbers together. I bought the parts that we needed. We're going to join these together. It's a double wishbone shock absorber. Well, that's doing that. We'll go pick our brakes out of the lathe here. Those are ready to go. Excellent. Come back in here, grab this first shock, put this one out. Let's take this off of the shock absorber. Let's build our second one. We're going to join the parts, the spring, the cap, and the shock. In it goes. We'll come back and get that later. Let's jump in now and keep on moving along here. So let's get that first shock absorber in there. Perfect. In it goes. And this right side wheel is starting to look pretty good. It's ready for the tire. Got to get a sway bar. I know we're going to have to buy that. So let's just come into the shopping list. Front sway bar, because you can't repair those, and I don't remember seeing it in there too. So in either case, we'd have to buy it. Let's get right there and get that in. Yep. Okay, that's all in. Let's go over here to the other side now, and we'll keep driving on here. Bottom suspension arm, we don't have that, so we're going to need to buy that. Let's get another one of those. Come into the shopping list. Bottom suspension arm, buy the part. All right, get that in over here. Taking shape though. I buy a ton of bushings now because we use them all the time. This will be fun. I've wanted to repair a Porsche from kind of nothing to something here. We got to go get the other shock, the brake disc. We can do that because that's all back from the lathe. Back at 100%. That's good. Let's get some brake pads on there. Oh, got to buy some brake pads. Let's get a bunch of those here. All right, going to the shopping list. Brake pads. Let's just get like 10 of them because they're handy to have around. Buy the part. Put that on. Good. All right, and now the calipers. Those should be good. Get those bolted on. Good. I think that's looking pretty good now. Oh, we got to get that other shock absorber. Let's get that. And I think a tie rod too. Yeah, where's the shock absorber thing? Whoa. Okay, let's get that off. And we'll come back up in here. And right up there is where it goes. Get that shock absorber in place. Good. A little bolt holds it in. Anything else? Oh, this sway bar. We're going to have to buy those, I'm sure, because you can't repair them, and I don't even remember seeing them. Sway bar, front end link B. Buy 2 of those, because we're going to need, whoops, got to actually buy them here. Buy 2 of those, buy the part, put that in, and I think the front suspension might be pretty close to done here. Not sure there's anything else we're missing. Let's get on the other side there. Let's go over there. If I click over here, that should do it. Right there, there's our sway bar front end link B. Get those in with a couple of bolts. And that's looking pretty good. And we're just about to level 18 now. I can see just a couple experience points away. Alrighty, I think that's looking pretty good for the suspension here. Let's kick out and take a walk around. Yeah, that's looking pretty solid. So we get the front suspension in. Let's go in now and rip apart the back suspension. Now we have wheels here for this one. So we're going to take the wheels off and everything. That's kind of nice because maybe these rims are salvageable too. So we'll get going here and start ripping this stuff apart here. This is probably going to be pretty messy and rusty and stuff like that. I'm sure we'll be able to fix some stuff. The brake calipers here. Be nice. Yep, barely if we can get those fixed. Brake pads. Oh, we just hit level 18. We're going to go get faster. We should be able to repair the brake disc too. Good. Rear high drive axle. Good. It's all good stuff in here. Get this. The wishbone shock absorbers off. Good. Just taking pieces off here. Bottom suspension arm. All of this stuff's so rusty. I mean, you can see it's just caked in rust. A lot of this stuff probably isn't repairable. Let's see what it comes off at. Anything that's 15% or less, anything that's less than 15% isn't repairable. So that bottom suspension arm you can see in the top left is at 7%. So we're going to have to buy a new one there. But that's kind of to be expected here. All right, so take that out. What do we got here? How does this go? Oh, there's a little bearing in there. Yeah, the wheel hub bearing. There we go. That's out. I'll get this off. These parts are a mess. Anyway, we'll keep going on here and then take these over and see if we can start fixing these parts. All right, so here's the engine too, of course, in the back here on this car. Let's take the gearbox off because we're going to take the whole engine out to work on it. That's going to be faster. Let's get these bolts out. Where is it? There, it needs a little bit of spray. Let's get back a little bit here. There's one more, right? Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Well, we can take these out since we're here, the clutch bearing stuff. This comes off real easy anyway. And then we'll go inside and we're going to take the engine all the way out of the car and go put it on the engine mount and then do it that way. That'll be faster and easier. So, but we might as well get this stuff off the gearbox here while we're done. Okay, so that's looking good. Clutch plate. Good. The flywheel we can take off too. Excellent. All right. So we've got the suspension pieces out now and we've got the engine separated from the body. So we'll be able to pull the engine out of the car. We can see it a big hunk of rusty metal down in here. But let's go work on the suspension first. We'll go see if we can repair some of those parts. Whoops, that's the body part over here at our table. All right, see how we do here. Nice, success, good. Oh, it's gonna be a tricky one. The hardest ones are in the green or right in the middle here. Nice, got it. This one looks pretty easy. Oops, try again, that's kind of lame. There we go. I like them when they have 2 green bars at the end because it's kind of like that. It's pretty easy to hit those, I've found. These are tricky. Oh, fail. Broke that one. Oh, God, I'm in a slump. Usually, I've been pretty good at getting them all the time, but not now. 2 failures. Now we're on a roll. But anyway, we'll keep playing this game here and driving on and get these parts ready to go. Then we'll get back over and reassemble the rear suspension. All right, we got a pretty good start, but we need some brake work done, and then we also need to get these shock absorbers going. I bought the parts here, but front spring we need to buy. Let's get, nope. Rear spring, right? Back. Oh, I gotta figure that out. One sec. Yeah, they were rear caps, so now we had to get those in rear springs. That's going together. Well, that's cranking down. We'll go do the rear brakes, the brake discs here. I think both of them are repairable. Good. Making progress. We'll keep driving on here. Alrighty, back at it now. We got the brake discs done. They should be at 100% again. Great. We got some brake pads to put on. We'll get those on. And we assembled those rear shocks. Brake calipers, they still good? Yep. Alright, we'll get these guys on. So this side wheel, anyway, is done. Let's get the rear shock absorber on. Yep, that's all in place. Good. Looking pretty good here. That is set. Let's go over to the other side and get working on the other side here now. All right, so the left rear wheel is done. Let's get this down on the ground here and then take out the engine. So we need the engine crank. That's over here. Working on a Jaguar here too, which is kind of fun. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Engine crane. Move equipment. Porsche. Let's come over here. Oops, got to lower it down first. Can't get it up from that high. There we go. It's going to be a fun car, I think, when it's done. I wonder what color we should paint it. See what it looks like. Maybe purple. Pull the engine out. Drain the oil. Ah, idiot. dummy. Forgot. Back up we go. Drain the oil. Move the equipment. Try that again. Porsche 911. Yep. Thankfully, it reminded us here. There we go. Now we got... There wasn't much oil in it, was there? Move the equipment. Put that back. Now we should be able to take the engine out here. Too high. Oh, goodness. Functioning brain. Not. Let's go down. And now we should be good. Pull the engine out of the car. Good. Engine's out of the car. It's empty back in here. Suspension's looking pretty good, though. Now let's take it over here to the engine stand here. We want to install an engine. This is one I'm working on. This is the one that we got here, the B6 M64. Where's this from? Oh, that one's from the other car. I'm working on that one. Right, that's from the Jaguar. So let's select this one. I'm going to make sure we put the right engine in the car. Yeah, this is the old piece of junk. So let's start tearing this apart here. We're going to take it all apart and rebuild it from scratch. I haven't seen an engine like this. Like, I don't know what these pipe things are. And they're not repairable. Wow, look at these little components up here. So I don't know how any of this stuff works. Camshaft. Okay, we got that off. Looks like a lot of pieces missing too. So we're going to have to buy a lot of these parts. But let's keep driving on here. Is this a V6 engine head? Interesting. So this will be a challenge. I haven't built one of these yet. I think I've done about 5 or 6 engines now, but never anything like this. I haven't seen any engine. I'm not even sure how this works. Most of the ones now, after taking them apart a little bit, it's like kind of like, oh, it makes sense. This is how the car, like these things move around, and then this shaft goes around, and that's going to turn the wheels and stuff like that. But I don't know how these work. Oh, the pistons sit in here. I see it now. Okay, and these little engine cylinder things. So the pistons can't come out yet. Let's rotate the engine to the right. And that seems pretty good. Let's come over on this side and do this. Got the back out to get in this a little bit better. So we're going to do basically the same thing on this side of the engine now. Camshaft bearing. Take that off. Good. Camshaft comes off. Excellent. Then these things came out, right? These little engine heads. All right, so we'll keep driving on here until we get the engine all the way taken apart. Then we're going to see what we can repair for this. I don't think you can repair these cylinder things because I found one in the junkyard and I bought it, figuring, oh, we can probably repair it, but I don't think you can. So these might just be something we have to buy all new. This could be expensive to do this, but I'm not too worried about the money. We're doing okay that way. Also, here's all the rod caps. Now we can get at the rod caps. Okay. Wow, this is a really unique engine. Can that pull off? Now we can get that piston out. Okay. So I think we have to take this one off too, but I don't know why that won't come off. Why can't we get this one off here? Well, we'll just keep solving one problem at a time. Let's take these rod caps off. Maybe this cap or something. Okay, here we go. Apparently you have to take those pistons out first, and then that side comes off. And the last thing, usually the last thing is the engine block, but this time the last thing is this crankshaft that has these last 3 pistons on it. That's a cool engine. That's one of the things I really like about this game is that each one of the engines, not each engine, but a lot of the engines are pretty unique from the different manufacturers, how they put them together. So every time you take one apart, it's kind of like this little puzzle that you're trying to solve. Let's get the pistons off now. These are no good, I'm sure. And we are almost done completely disassembling the engine. I think this is the last thing, right? The crankshaft. And that's it. No more engine. Cool. Let's kick out of here and let's go over to the repair table. See if we can repair some of these parts. This pipe is a good place to start. Let's come down there. Whoops. All right, success. So we'll keep kind of repairing these parts and see how we do. All right, there we go. Repaired quite a bit. There's still a number of things that we weren't able to repair, but let's jump in here and start putting things together. We were able to repair things like this, the crankshaft, which is an expensive part, so that's kind of nice. Now the pistons go on. Oh, look at that. The pistons go on next. That's cool. So we're going to have to buy those because I'm sure those were no good and you can't repair them. So let's come in here and get pistons. It looks like it's a 6-cylinder, right? So 6, we'll buy that. And then we have to get, if I search for piston, that's a quick way to find the springs. Piston spring. These, we need 6 of these. Buy that part and let's see if that works for getting these on now. Piston springs. Excellent. We'll put these on. All right, so we'll drive on and kind of keep getting the engine back together again. Then we'll put the engine back in the car and then see what's next. We have all the stuff around the engine to put in, and then we have to do the exhaust systems fuse box, and then of course some of the body work and replace some of the glass. So still quite a bit to do here. Yeah, so that this engine block, that's the big chunk of the engine, that wasn't in good enough shape to repair, so we have to buy that. That's 2,200 credits, even with our discount. That's a pricey piece of part right there. I think we might have to buy the other side too, so that's going to be expensive. I don't think we can put that on yet, right? Yeah, no, we got to get shaft in. That we have to buy too. So yeah, some expensive parts to fix in this one, but oh well, what can you do? It's still, I'm sure we're still going to, by the time we're all done with it, we'll make a substantial chunk of cash here. But you know, kind of doing these things too, it's kind of fun because you get in this little zone where you're just putting stuff on and taking stuff off and thinking about it, and it's taking shape. And I find it's almost like therapeutic here. So let's see how much this engine block B costs. Do we have that? Oh, good. We're able to fix that half. So that's good. So not horrifically expensive here. The other thing I like about the game is that it lights up with that gray what goes on. So it's really hard to, it's easy to leave parts off for sure, but it's really hard to kind of totally screw up. So these things, yeah, we couldn't buy. Are they all the same? B6, M64. So let's put these onto the shopping list, and we're going to need to buy 6 of those. I bet those are going to be expensive here. Engine cylinders. How many do we need? 6. That's pricey. 1,500. Yeah, we're spending some money on this car, but it's going to be worth it when it's done. All right, it's taking shape here. We still got a little bit of stuff to put together on this other side here. Get spark plugs and the electronics in and stuff. And get that crankshaft area back on. Something down here too. But making progress. Now, we started with 183,000, I think we started this episode. So we're down 148 now. So what's that? 35,000 we've spent on the car so far. Be curious to see how much it's worth by the time we're all done with it. But let's keep driving on. All right, it's actually looking pretty good here. We're down to the engine block cover and some of these little timing chains, which I'm sure we don't have. So let's buy that. That in, timing chain B. Wow, this is getting expensive. I'm hopeful the car, I bet the car is worth more than 100,000 though by the time it's all done. We don't have one of these things either. Timing shoe. Buy that, put that on. We'll keep plugging along. All right, we're getting closer here. This is all these parts on the side here. I mean, this is the kind of, if we step back on this one here. This up here is the air filter in this top left part. And this is some kind of a blower, and the radiator fan is in here. This is a really cool engine. But we still have to get in the spark plugs, and I got to find where those are. So let's keep going here. There's got to be spark plugs here somewhere, right? Up in here. Fuel rail. There they are. Zoom in. Right here. Okay, so we're going to need, what, 6 of them because it's a V6. So let's buy those and get those in. All right, so we got the spark plugs in and the engine head cover, but there's got to be something to cover that. We haven't got that on yet, so there's something I'm missing here. Poke around the engine. Oh, here we go. This timing chain A. So, oh, okay, we got to get that all covered. That probably is going to allow us to put the wires in. Timing chain A. Buy that. Get this on. Probably a cover for this. Oh, another chain shoe. Ah, here it is. Clips. We got to get clips on the distributor caps. Otherwise, you can't put the wires on. These little things right there. That's what was throwing us off there. So, okay, this is bizarre. So there's 12 spark plugs on this thing. That's what was throwing me off. There's 3 there. And then there's 3 more here. Because usually there's only 1 spark plug for every cylinder, right? And I swear I put 6 in. Oh, look at this. It's got them on both sides. That's crazy. So there's 6 spark plugs in here. We can see them in there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it's the same thing on this side where there's 6 more. That's crazy stuff. I don't understand how that works. Maybe someone who knows engines can let us know, because I'm really confused as to how that functions. Usually, but maybe that's, yeah, what I know about cars is not very much for sure. But usually 6-cylinder car has 6 spark plugs. Why does this have 12? There we go. Now we get the ignition wires covering it. So let's get those things there. buy these. That should be, I think, the last part we need. Back to electronics. Now we open it up. Or one of the last parts we need. At least enough to put it back in the car here. Alrighty, so that's on. Now I think this is probably complete. Pop this there. I don't see anything else we need to get on. We got it all together. So the engine here is back together. Time to put it in the car. But let's just do a double check here by kind of, when we kick out here, we want to, oops, nope. Get out of here. Go over to the rack here. Engine stand, take engine off stand. And if we go put it back on, then maybe there's a way to do this. But we can see, here's our B6 engine. Yeah, it looks like everything's 100%. So we got it. I think we're done. Let's go put the engine back in the car now. So I lost track of time. It's 5 o'clock right now and our shop is closing, so I have to go. And that episode was getting kind of long anyway. So we'll leave at this kind of dramatic moment where we're going to put the engine back into the car. That's probably about halfway through. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And then don't forget to check out for the second half of this episode. Put the engine in the car, we'll fix all the stuff up around the engine, do the fuse box, fix the body parts that are left, paint the car, hopefully get it back to its pristine new condition. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you again.